This Sunday on Press Pass, the Youngstown School District is still in academic distress under regulations created by the Academic Distress Commission. Superintendent Jeremy Batchelor says the label does not fully reflect the progress being made, so he met with the Ohio Department of Education to share his concerns in hopes of removing that label. Batchelor says he's also working with lawmakers to abolish academic distress commissions. So here with more on his efforts, Youngstown School Superintendent Jeremy Batchelor. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. So you met with the Ohio Education Department this past week. Can you tell us, how did that meeting go and what was their feedback?
So it was a really good meeting. They definitely listened. Dr. Dackett and some members of his team were very gracious. We had members of our team, including a couple board members who were, our board president, and sat down, and the meeting went really well. We went through a presentation of where we feel like we are, what the data shows where we are, looking at our plan, looking at everything that's happened over the last 4 years, including how the plan was developed. And they were receptive, they listened, but at the end of the day, we were not released from academic distress. They did not believe that they have the authority without a legislative action to move us out of academic distress at this point.
And you said that you guys were able to file an extension.
Yes.
Correct.
So, by law, when House Bill 110 was passed back in 2021, if you did not meet the 51% of the benchmarks, then you could file a 1-year extension. Actually, you could file another one after next year too if we don't. So there's nothing's changing right now in terms of any more sanctions or things of that nature. But I do want our community to know and remember what the law says. If it happens in 2 years that we still technically are not where they want us to be, we would possibly be revisiting House Bill 70, CEO model, and that would just not be fair to Youngstown, would not be fair to our scholars, our staff, our teachers, and all the work that we've done. And so we just feel like it's time to turn the page on those 3 letters. And the work that we've done, I believe, take a really good picture of really what school improvement really is.
Yeah, let's talk about the work that you guys have done. What improvements or progress do you point to that you feel should lift you out of academic distress?
Well, I just think overall, if you look at everything, academically, while we did not hit 51% of those benchmarks this year, over the last 3 years, there were times, remember, the benchmarks went up every year. And 2 years ago, or last year, we actually hit 15 of the 24 benchmarks. So if they had stayed the same, remember they go up every year, if they had stayed the same, we would have met them. But neither here nor there. We did have 10% gains in over 60% of our benchmarks. So those are really good growth pieces. And I had a mentor tell me a long time, if you take care of growth, achievement will come. And so that's what we've really been focused on. But we've also seen graduation rate increase a lot over the last several years. We have the second highest graduation rate of all urban school districts in the state of Ohio. And when the report card comes out next year, because graduation rate lags a year behind, the class of 2025, we graduated 90% of those students. So the work is happening, and what we're doing at Chofin being a 5-star career center, the only one in the urban district across the state, and adding programs, having all of our 11th, 12th graders graduate with a pathway. And so we're seeing 3rd grade reading scores go up, not where we want them to be, but obviously we have definitely grown over 20% over the last 3 years.
Do you feel like having this academic distress label carries a stigma for the school district?
I'm glad you asked that, because that is what I really want our community to understand, and reason why I'm fighting so hard is because it is time to remove that label. It's time to remove that anvil so that we can move forward and do the right things. We believe that we should be the premier school of choice in the city of Youngstown. But that label and that stigma does hurt for us to recruit our own students. We believe that our students, we have the best opportunity for an education, to be able to get a free education at Youngstown State University if you graduate from Youngstown City Schools. So why not come to Youngstown? But that stigma does create something that we need to get rid of so we can just move forward and focus on the work.
And you're also working with lawmakers to hopefully abolish academic distress commissions. Can you tell us about who you're working with, and does it seem like that could become a reality?
I'm hopeful. I'm very cautiously optimistic, but I talked to Senator Catrona. He introduced originally House Bill 322. It's been amended to House Bill 332. So he is working on his side in the House. In the Senate, I'm sorry. And then you have Rep. McNally and I believe Rep. Brent out of East Cleveland. who have introduced another, I think, House Bill 610 or Senate Bill 610. And so all of those legislatures, I'm hoping, will work together and work across the aisle. And then we definitely are supportive. Our board has already passed a resolution in support of the old amendment that he put together, and we will be passing another one and just continuing to work.
And then before I let you go here, one more question. How would removing this designation kind of change things for students, teachers, and the community as a whole?
I just think it allows us to move forward and say, all right, we've gone through what we've gone through. You know, our thing is one vision, one Youngstown. That's our new tagline in Youngstown, and as we consolidate. So I think it just would allow us to have a fresh, clean slate, focus on what we've done in the past, you know, recognize it, but we've made a lot of progress. And so now it just will allow us to continue to move forward without having the negative connotation of that academic distress behind us. And we can focus on the new Youngstown defenders.
All right. A lot of things to keep an eye on in Youngstown.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jeremy Batchelor. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.